Welcome to today's tutorial. In today's tutorial we're going to look at the chapter of urbanisation, and we're going to look at land use and the value of land in the cities. So we're going to look at land use and the value of land in cities, and I've broke it down into basically 2 points that you need to know. Okay, so the first point is that the further you travel into the city, the value or the price of the land increases. So the closer you travel into the city centre, equals the higher the land price. Okay, so the closer you travel into the city centre, the higher the land price is. Okay, so the more expensive it is. The second point is that the closer you travel into the city centre, that equals the intensity of the land use increases. So I've broken it up into 2 different points, nice and simple. Basically, the further you go into the city centre, the more expensive the land price is, and the further you go into the city centre, the more intensity that the land is used. So the land is used a lot more, and there's an increase in the use of the land the further you go into the city centre. So we're going to look at the land use. So land use. The more intensity that the land is used, if the intensity of the land use increases, then what you tend to find is the buildings will be much taller. Will be tall. Okay, so this is because if land prices is very expensive and the land use is used quite a lot, buildings will be built up, so you'll get a lot more skyscrapers, and you'll find that the buildings will be used for a variety of purposes. So used for a variety of purposes. And what I mean by that is, an example would be the ground floor will be used as maybe an apartment floor. So ground floor will be a department store. And then the upper floors will be apartments. So it'll be residential, there'll be apartments, or they might be used for offices. Okay, so just 2 things to know. So the land use, so when land price is very expensive and the intensity of the land use increases, buildings will be much taller. And they'll be used for a variety of purposes. So on the bottom floor there'll be shops and department stores, and then up on the upper floors, maybe the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and so on, depending on how many floors, they'll be used for offices and apartments, or maybe just offices, or maybe just apartments, or it could be both. The next thing I'm going to look at is land prices. So land prices. And the first thing you got to know is that the prices are going to increase the further you go in. So land value increases the closer you are to the city centre. One of the reasons why land prices increase the closer you go to the city centre is because departments, stores and businesses prefer to locate in the CBD, because that way they can get an increase in the amount of customers, and this leads to a huge demand for the land, and it therefore increases the value. Okay, so businesses prefer to be in the city centre. Okay, in city centre. Which pushes the prices. So I just said there that businesses prefer to locate in the city centre, which pushes the price for land up. And basically because land is used more intensity in the city centre, and therefore a lot more people want to locate their business in here, and because the demand increases for that area in the CBD, the prices will increase dramatically. And what you'll find is people won't be able to live here in residential, especially not like in houses, or not on the first floor, on the ground floor. They'll have to maybe live in the apartments in the first, the second, third floor above the department store, because they'll just be outpriced, and the price of living on the ground floor would just be way too expensive. One thing to note about the land prices: the further you move away from the city centre, the cheaper the land prices will be. And what you'll find is, in the city centre you'll have huge skyscrapers, very tall buildings, and the further you move away, the smaller the buildings, the height of the buildings will be reduced. Okay, and instead of getting maybe apartments and terrace houses, the further you go out into the suburbs, away from the city centre, you'll find more detached houses and semi-detached houses, and houses which will have much bigger gardens and so on, because the land price is much cheaper. So in the suburbs, the buildings are cheaper, and therefore do not have to be used as intensively as they do in the CBD, which is why the CBD has that huge prices that you'll pay to live to purchase the land and to live in that area. So that's it for today's tutorial on land use and land value in urban areas such as cities. It's important that you understand this tutorial, and if you'd like some more videos, more quizzes, more notes or PowerPoints, please go onto the website examrevision.ie, where you can find all of this information, and our resources are located here. Thanks guys.